The Essex Shipbuilding Museum tells a wonderful story of how Essex survived in the early stages of its existence. The museum is built right next to the Story Shipyard in which many vessels were built. Shipbuilding in Essex was the most important source of income and jobs for over 300 years. The museum is placed right in the yards of many famous men who built ships and vessels. This includes the Story Shipyard and the Burnham Shipyard. These shipyards became famous nationally and internationally, creating over 4,000 vessels. In 1634, Ipswich's Chabaco Parish was born. This town resided next to the Chabaco River. Essex, being in New England, had very concentrated forests. This made Essex a perfect place to create ships. In 1675, this is exactly what they did. Essex began to create many schooners to catch the fish. At one point in time, they created the most schooners in the world. Not only did building ships create jobs, it also brought in many fish to eat and sell. Without shipbuilding, Essex would have not thrived and would have collapsed. The shipyards became so popular that they were used to catch food, trade, used in transport, and even fight in the war against Britain. Although almost everyone had a part in building ships, the Story family was the largest known and played the biggest role in Essex. The Story family had their very own shipyard. The most famous man was Arthur D. Story. This man created the most ships and vessels in the history of Essex. He was said to create over 400 of them. There were multiple shipyards owned by the Story family. The Story shipyards were the longest lasting shipyards in Essex. The shipbuilding in Essex provided much to the people who lived there. The shipyards provided a mostly economic help to the Essex County. Almost everyone who lived in Essex built ships. Many people who needed jobs found them through shipbuilding in Essex. There were never a shortage of jobs. This was because there was always a high demand of ships, not just for catching food, but also for trading, transportation, and use in the war. Shipbuilding brought food to the town of Essex as well. With more ships, there was more food caught. The vessels made at the shipyards were of the highest quality in the world. Many people wanted and needed vessels from Essex. The money brought from trading vessels also improved the economy in Essex. Without shipbuilding in Essex, the town would have not had enough resources to break away from Ipswich, Gloucester, and Hamilton and survive by themselves. Essex created vessels before and through the Revolutionary War. This period of time brought many hardships. However, it was able to survive based on shipbuilding. During this period of time, many people were actually able to have a stable income, while in other places, people did not have this opportunity. Shipbuilding was always in Essex, and the people became very dependent on it. It became the most popular job market in Essex for a very long period of time. During the war, Essex provided over 2/3 of the ships driven by the U.S. Navy. This helped immensely through the Revolutionary War and others against Britain. If Essex did not create as many ships as it did through the Revolutionary War, the U.S. would have not been able to break away from Britain and become its own independent country. The town of Essex was able to keep a stable economy while providing for the war against Britain. The Essex shipyards were the greatest contributors to Essex's success. Essex was able to break away from Ipswich, Hamilton, and Gloucester and become its very own town. Along with that, Essex was able to keep a stable economy with a steady flow of jobs. From the mid-1600s to the early 1900s, Essex thrived in shipbuilding, building more schooners than anywhere in the world. Building almost 4,000 schooners made it one of the top-notch areas to build ships. Without the success of shipbuilding, Essex would have not thrived as it did and does.